one of the things that we've tried very hard to do in the Biotechnology Center is to create this collaborative environment. And we've done that by hiring people who really look for opportunities to work together. And then we really promote that by putting people near each other, letting them interact with each other, and to be quite honest, finding people who like each other and like to work together. We do things to promote that by having people come and drink coffee together once a week and eat cookies. And as silly as that may sound, it brings people into the same place and gets them talking about their work that they're excited about. And that really helps people have real important interactions which end up building collaborations. The work that I do in my own lab, which is part of the Biotechnology Center, primarily focuses on the process of blood vessel growth, which we call angiogenesis. And that area of research spans the very molecular basis, that is, how genes are involved in the growth of blood vessels, to very clinical and practical areas like why do blood vessels grow under some conditions and not under other conditions. So one of the examples that we often think about where blood vessels grow when we don't want them to grow is in cancer. In certain kinds of cancer, the tumor cells themselves generate signals that cause blood vessels to grow toward the tumor. And if that didn't happen, the tumor couldn't grow and wouldn't enlarge. So one of the therapeutic targets that we work on are agents which block the growth of blood vessels. And if we can do that, then we can keep tumors from growing. We also study situations in which blood vessels don't grow normally, and that can happen, for example, in patients who have heart failure. Their heart changes and sometimes grows, but the blood vessels themselves don't grow, and so they don't keep up. And so the heart isn't getting the nutrition that it needs. And so we study ways that we can use stem cells and other therapies to try to promote the growth of blood vessels in patients who have heart failure so that we can hopefully help their heart to be stronger and that they can live longer. We've made an interesting discovery many years ago where we found that in an animal model of angiogenesis, that if these animals were eating a diet that was pretty high in salt, so like what we call our Western diet, then they didn't grow blood vessels at all. In fact, we could run them on a treadmill every day and they simply wouldn't grow blood vessels in response to that, whereas an animal eating a normal salt or a low salt diet would. And that caused us to be really interested in the hormonal pathways in our body that help us deal with high salt diet. And that pathway is called the renin-angiotensin system. And we've spent many years studying that system because it's a very important system in a whole variety of diseases. For example, in hypertension, we sometimes have an overactive renin-angiotensin system. And when that happens, we give people medications to lower their blood pressure. But when it blocks that system, it also blocks the growth of blood vessels. And so understanding how that works and seeing if we can develop medications that will help lower blood pressure effectively but won't block the growth of blood vessels is an area that we're interested in our own lab.